Before we start, all names will be censored, including mine and who I am, due to Piksy saying that they don't care if their member swats or doxes anyone mentioned here or anyone helping get this info out or anything. So, yeah. So I hope you understand and I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. For context, anyone that doesn't know who Piksy is the owner of the biggest femboy server on Discord, Piksy's Femboy Church. And Piksy, as of recently, has a lot of allegations coming towards them of them being a groomer, predatory behavior, lying, and being manipulative. I'm gonna have the timestamps of every part or like every section of the video. So first it's gonna be the weird messages. Second is gonna be the lying. Third is gonna be the interview I did with Piksy and his closest friend from a while back that has no contact with him anymore. Piksy does have a record of admitting themselves, of them saying weird shit to people, but because of their psychosis and them having schizophrenic episodes. But this weird shit doesn't go from like just death threats. No, it goes to them talking about graping people. So just to like give you a little like sample of the stuff, the weird messages he says to people. We have a few here pulled up. This is a screenshot of Piksy in his server admitting to telling a 14-year-old that he will rape them to death and then piss on them and then eat their mother, which is crazy. And then we have another one of him telling another kind of sexual message towards the 14-year-old that he's now deleted, telling them to bend over, baby boy, and that he deserves it because he's siding with people. I don't know who they are, but siding with them. I don't know the context of that image, but you could see what I mean, where he talked kind of sexually and really weird to people he knows that are underage. Another weird thing is that not that long ago, Piksy made an announcement that they're going to be doing content against streaming and YouTube videos, and these YouTube videos were going to be ASMR. And they said that this ASMR will be kind of lewd, and they posted it in the announcements, and he knows that most of his servers are minors. So publicly announcing this is kind of weird. Well, it isn't kind of, but it is weird. And then as well as on their social links channel, you can click it right away. You can see 18 plus, all spicy stuff. Like, and it's just his other Twitter account, which has a lot of porn that he has reposted, and so right away he is punning out all this suggestive stuff right in front of his minor audience. No restrictions, nothing. Not even a private Twitter account. It's not even private. So anyone can follow it. Anyone can look at it. So he's exposing it a lot to his underage audience, which is not good. Okay, so this part is really going to focus on it's a really confusing part. So I would say put on your little safari hat, get your machete out, start cutting through the vines, and we're going to uncover in this section a lot of Piksy's like background aliases or past identities that he did go on from 2019 to 2022. Just to start off, in 2019, Piksy, or we don't know, but you'll see what I mean by why a lot of people say he's Pika and Spook. Spook was the first name, and Spook was a small streamer. Not There's no clips of Spook existing. There's still links to his thing, and there is still screenshots of him with his server and a lot of DMs with him flirting with two minors. One was 14 and the other one was 13. Spook at the time was 20. Um, During all this, Spook would exchange erotic roleplay messages with these people and would ask one of them for nudes and ask one of them for a jar. And eventually, when all this stuff got out, he admitted to his server that yes, it was him. Here's the message. You can read it in your own time. It's a very long message. I'm not going to read it. But for summary, he says that yes, was him. He's going to promise to do better as a person. And that's it of the Spook saga, if you could call it that. And then Pika RL in 2022 was when they were last active. Was a small streamer on Twitch as well, another VTuber, and said they were Ukrainian and made a lot of jokes about the Russia versus Ukrainian war. So it stirred up a lot of controversy, and people got on his case because of it. And due to a lot of people investigating and digging into him, they found out that Spook and Piksy and Pika RL, my bad, are related. And they call out the old grooming messages and stuff like that, and they call out the recent ones, the ones that happened when he was going under Pika RL, and then later Pika RL went inactive. No response to any of the drama or anything. But there's Twitter threads and stuff like that. They go into more detail of his personal friends, some YouTube videos. One that's really good is by Tonic. Really short, really simple, but it gets pretty digested of the Pika RL like situation. And if we go into the comments of that video, the back all the way to 6 months, someone says, "This person is still grooming people over Discord, by the way, going by Piksy." It's not just one message. No. Nope. 5 months ago, he's still grooming. Time for an update. 3 months ago, guys, he's now changed to Piksy and keep lying about everything to get money from people. Please don't be fooled. I'm in this guy's Discord server. He goes by Piksy now, and others have said he is pretending to be disabled and asking others for donations. His mod team also bans people for no reason. They even banned someone for outing server members as sexual predators. So, this before the accusations came out, which were like the first few came out in October, which is not even 6 months ago, and then again more resurfacing as of this week. But there's been people already saying it was Piksy, and there's no like correlation. Like, yeah, the coincidence of them all streaming on Twitch and all of them being a VTuber, but the correlation that they said that Piksy and Pika RL, no context, nowhere in the YouTube video they ever mentioned a Piksy or anything. They now are related, and people were saying this since 6 months ago as of right now, which right now it's February 29th, leap year. Happy birthday. It's very coincidental that Piksy gets called out for this Pika RL without being mentioned nowhere in any of the Twitter threads or anything. And there is people in his server that say, "Oh, I miss Piksy 2022 when they went under Pika RL." Nowhere in the Piksy server does he mention himself that he is Pika RL, but a lot of people in the server do say that yes, his old name was Pika RL. So, if this is all true, that means Piksy, the owner of an almost 100,000 member server, who was caught with two 13-year-olds in the past, is now in control of the biggest femboy server with minors, and no one is stopping it or preventing it. He is the owner of it, and he is silencing a lot of info or people questioning him, me included, and it's getting very concerning of how many other victims there could be as his new alias as Piksy. All right, whew. So that was the big part. That's the big main juicy part right there, the lying part. But here's the smaller stuff for what I have discovered on my own on his server, my time there. Piksy has a lot of claims that they say of themselves. They've told me personally, and they have said that they do have heart problems and organ damage because of like stress and always the constant adrenaline run. Which, if it was true, they would probably be like in cardiac arrest or some sort of medication for it. But anyways, I digress. That they have all these issues, but apparently they can run 20 kilometers to their nearest store, which is like 12 miles, I think, in under an hour which is world breaking speed. And when I asked Piksy if they had during the interview that we did, that if Piksy had any uh prior track record or sport record, he said no. He is home. He is what is it? He is training himself. He's doing ninja training, self-taught to himself. And if it's self-taught and it's ninja training, I doubt that's gonna fix your organ problems or anything. And there's no way you're running at fucking inhuman speeds just to go to a store. And he has told me himself that he earns about $2,000 or more, depending on what he gets from Steam as well, from his donations every month, which isn't a lot, but that's enough for food. Also saying that his parents also take care of him. So if his parents are paying for the rent and the house he lives in because he can't work or anything, he's getting all the donations from his thing. Um, where is the $2,000 going? Or more, where is the money going? Because this also leads up to the other point that Piksy says that they have the dumpster dive and they break into stores and steal food. So if he's doing all this, even his oldest friend who I interviewed, which we'll get into the interviews in a minute, uh they said that Piksy has told them personally that yes, he does spend the money on food, but now he is telling people that he does not because he feels ashamed of it. So now, why are people donating to him for him to survive if he's not using the money to eat or anything? He's not using the money to eat or anything. So what's the point of donating to him if he is just going to keep on doing the same thing, even though getting handed $2,000 every month? And like he has said that the donations have been up since April, and he says that he's been earning 2K sin like for every month, right? So let's go back to April. See how many months how much money he's been making. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, $22,000 that he has made overall, if his fucking calculations are correct. So where did it all go? Where did $22,000 go? It just doesn't disappear thin air. But yeah, that's gonna be this is gonna wrap it up for the lying section. But yeah. Okay. So here we are with the interviews, and I asked Piksy for an interview and allegations like when I first started getting a glimpse of it, and I got ignored. And then I asked for another mod to like help me get in contact with him, and they blocked me with no response. And then I asked another mod if they would want to be interviewed, an active one. They said no. So the mods are kind of weird around Piksy, the active ones. But the people I did interview were two. One was an old active admin, really close to Piksy, so I have a lot of personal info, and Piksy themselves. So we're gonna start off with Piksy, and then we're gonna go show. So Piksy finally responded when I called them by Pika RL and Spook jokingly, and they responded right away, and this is what they said. That's not me. That's the person I bought the server from. I'm black, LMAFO. Like, yeah, I'm a N word. Also, I made a whole video going over everything weeks ago. There really isn't any drama I haven't already addressed. It's just servers that consist of mostly pedos and creeps that are banned in my server. My entire server only exists to take refuge from other femboy servers. That's the reason I grew so much so quickly. Also, why other servers are generally losing a crap ton of members. Because they're the reason that people even join my server for. I generally don't know what most people want. I already said I'm not sorry, and it's not something that I can control anyways. Psychosis isn't something that's my choice. It affects every single part of my life. All my mods know how I can be. People are just incredibly ableistic. Most last year was spent in the psychotic state with no awareness or recognition over what I was saying slash doing. I was fully responsible for it, admitted to it, didn't defend it, but it still wasn't enough for people. It DMs you to read slash fact and blah blah blah. Okay. So I told him that isn't an interview I was wanting. I'm wanting more of a Q&A type of thing, you know? I already did that ages ago though. Yeah, but there's new stuff and stuff I want to ask. This whole thing has been a dead horse for months already. I already addressed every point. I said, not all of it is grooming. Like I said, it's mostly not about that. Piksy, there is nothing new. There hasn't been a single incident since October, since basically my mods caused all of this. I know, but I want to ask stuff I saw. My community was there with how badly my own mods made me spiral with my little autistic eyes, which is. So I said, so yes to the interview. Since, well, I haven't really DM'd anyone since October. No, because I don't really want to talk to people. But I want to make a vid and get your side on stuff. My mods are already doing one. Again, him relying a lot on his mods being his defense. Like, if you ever had any prior sports record or track, I can't even take a serious amount and how much money you get off donations weekly. I make around 2K a month, but I want to get it from you. Yeah, the morning, the interview is kind of like really all over the place because he liked talking a lot and bringing up unrelated stuff. So it's kind of a mess. Well, plus what I get on Steam, how long have the donations been up? Since April, when my community forced me to make one due to how much dumpster diving I was doing every day. So the money is used for food and supplies and wants, since you said your parents take care of you. Also, my therapist basically said I wasn't supposed to interact with people I don't know much, and they are in the server, which isn't good for a therapist to recommend that. Okay, I see. The response to the money thing. Not really. I basically am fully independent, or at least strive for it. I asked them if I can get the therapist tag. They said, obviously not, since it's not officially approved. It is a personal matter. I've been in therapy for 17 years. So when you want food and stuff, how do you get it then? If you're giving all the money to your parents or using it on other stuff. Usually I go to the store, break a lock, and search through the trash. That's how I get most of my food since I try to invest as much as I can. As I said, I spend almost nothing on myself. But why do that? If you're getting 2K monthly, where does the money go towards? Because I have to live off of it for the rest of my entire life. I'm investing as much as I possibly can. And what disabilities by name, if you can, stop you from working? I have everything in my FAQ since my memory is too finicky to even process most stuff. I'm banned from your server, so I can't see them. And why is that? Because I was asking you stuff in gen and your mods banned me. Oh yeah, that made me spiral severely. So I can't really recall most of anything people tell me, but he can recall me asking him stuff, and that made him spiral. So you know, do you have any past record of sports? Just from that, right? I did ninja training for now 6 years now. And what is that? Self taught based on old writings, since I'm a nerd for Japanese culture. I see. A mix of martial arts, stamina training, and climbing, also body hardening. I have a long gang history. And that you can run 16 kilometers to your local store in under an hour? Stresses causes a lot of adrenaline buildup that gets progressively worse. Yeah, I do that 3 to 4 times a week. I see. So you suffer from a damaged heart? No, overall organ damage. I only have about 2 years left. I don't like saying this in my community, but I've been already suffering from pancreas failure. Again, he brings up a lot of like things that try and tug on your strings through the interview, which a lot of it I didn't ask for, but you know. Okay. Well, let's dig a little into some stuff from your past I've dug up. So your past identity were Pika, RL, and Spook, correct? No, I bought the Pika RL server. I'm still black. Okay, but a lot of people say you were Pika. I don't know why there is any association when we don't even sound the same. I said even somebody remembers. We aren't even the same color. I don't know the skin race being mentioned of Pika RL. I never asked him or anything about the skin race, but every time I bring up Pika RL, he gets very defensive and says that he is black, which I didn't ask him. I mean, no, I never told anybody about this publicly. Why would I? I mean, no, I don't know, but a lot of your members say that's who you were in 2022. I knew him. Duh. But so then Spook was you? No. Who was Spook then? Pika RL was Spook. Those are separate people. So the server right now that you own was Pika RL server. He says was bought alongside of everything else. I see, but the person who gave you ownership of it was not known as Pika RL. And then he says, I used to run a security scam, cyber security scam. So that's so he has a prior record of going like knowing this knowledge. I have a screenshot of the owner giving you owner of the server, and their name had nothing to do with Pika nor Spook. And then he goes, huh? And then dodge that entirely. And he goes, yeah, I'm gonna just eat food. I don't know where this is going. To be fair, I didn't talk to most of anyone saying I did shit. It's just a question. Sorry if it's unclear. I only talked in the server since October, but a lot of the socials of Pika RL link to you as of right now. And a lot of people that were associated in Pika RL and Spook genre by an allegation said this is your old identity and from 2019 to 2022. We're just wondering if you knew what happened during that time. Right away, he ignores everything else and just asks about which links are to him, which I lied. I was trying to see if I could like crack and see if he'd admit right away, make my life easier, but no, he didn't. And then I replied to I knew him, duh, and I said, what was his racial background? White German, which is from the thread that say that that Pika RL was white German, but Piksy has told their friend as well that they are German. Coincidence? Their TikTok and now inactive Twitch. Wrong, because they said that they're Ukrainian. He ignored that. Can you show me a link or anything? Because screenshots aren't proof of anything. They can be. Well, I have to go to school because I was interviewing them during school. But I'll be back, so I hope we can keep in contact. Because I still wanted to ask him more questions and get to know him more. Not really. No, most of the screenshots were faked, and currently people are on my side way more. I've gotten more regulars from other femboy servers, not to mention that I'm legally unable to defend myself and don't take any legal responsibility over myself. My parents do that. I'll be blunt here. It's a good thing this whole thing happened since I am benefited from a majority. LMAO. Yeah, and then he goes on a kind of like a whole rant about his server being better than everyone else's and that he's benefiting, which gives him this narcissistic kind of like attitude, which is not a good look. And then he blocked me because I asked him how he felt about minors posting thigh pics, which is true. I have a lot of screenshots of their age being in their bio and them posting shit. But yeah, yeah, okay. So that's the end of the Pika interview. So I have now also gotten in contact with his old admin, which was around during the October drama. Hung around for a few months and then left. The October drama was when one of his old mods, Pika, had nuked his server because of the allegations and made in October. But his admin at the time that he was very close to left, and I have now gotten in contact with him as now to get to know Pika more closely because Pika blocked me, so I couldn't get any more info from Pika. So I had to go ask people they were close to back then. So the identity they want, because they want to be separate from the drama and separate from Piksy overall, and they have asked to be they have asked to be their identity to be hidden. So I'm just gonna blur their name, not blur, but I'm gonna black out their name. So right away I asked them, what did I ask them? Okay, did you know where Pixie's money go that he got from donations? I was told he used it to buy him food. So he never mentioned him needing to steal and dumpster dive. If he did, I wasn't online for it. What race is Piksy? No clue. He never showed his face. He's from Germany, I can tell you that much. Do you have any contact with the owner of the server before Piksy? Piksy was the person who made the server as far as I'm aware. He mentioned writing custom code for it. Did Piksy ever go by any other name like Pika RL or Spook? I'm not sure. I've heard people say he's Pika RL, but I haven't seen proof of myself yet. I think he meant, has he ever mentioned his heart problems or him only having 2 years left to live? I think he mentioned heart problems once, but nothing about having 2 years left to live. Do you think Piksy has a tendency to guilt trip others to get donations or their way? Oh, absolutely. He did that with two of my friends and even myself to an extent, despite me being poor. Do you think Piksy only cares for the money or about his members? I don't think Piksy cares about either. He only cares about himself. Money makes him feel important and like he can control others, but I think it's only the control he cares about. Has Piksy said anything controversial like racism or slurs? I can't remember. Any allegations of Piksy being sexual with members and with minors do you think is true? Hmm. There's one allegation that's probably not true, but it's the one made by another pedo, which I didn't show any of the screenshots of. All the rest I've seen proof of. Okay. Does Piksy control his mods to not talk to certain people? He didn't when I was admin. I was in charge of the mods and I let them do basically whatever. Now, I've been told he does, but can't confirm anything. Who has told you? One of the people who Piksy manipulated into staying on his server and pay him. I managed to get that person to see what Piksy is really like, and he left the server and told us. Do you have any screenshots of this? Nope. Sorry. The only screenshot I thought to keep was Piksy's last message to me, and it was a very emotional situation for me. Well, I think I have asked all I have to ask. So, conclusion is that Piksy is very controversial and has a lot of evidence and a lot of good, solid proof that he is very manipulative and he has a tendency to guilt trip and maybe his disabilities aren't real. And there's a lot of other evidence and a lot of coincidences of Piksy being related to these other people that have been called out for being racist and being shown that they are pedos. So then Piksy refusing to show any proof on their side that any of these messages are fake or that they're not related or that they bought the server or anything that could counterclaim any of this. That I believe that Piksy is Pika RL and now has control over a very large audience and is manipulating and gaslighting them and hiding information purposely from them to try and get his name clear and keep on earning money from the server. And I guess this would be like a call to arms, not call to arms, but like call to action. There you go. If you are in the Piksy server, I would say yes, the server you're in has very nice people, very nice community, nice people, very active. I could see why you don't want to get banned or say anything out of line. But if we don't know if there's any victims right now that he can be paying off or anything like that to stay quiet. So we don't know if there's any other new victims yet. Thank you for watching and that'll be all.